Where are we?
We're at Fear Expo in Owensboro, Kentucky.
And what are we doing?
We're here to review the show.
Alright, let's get in there. What would you say your favorite thing you've seen so far is?
So far, I like the baby dolls, like little zombie baby dolls. The food was pretty good.
Not the food we ate.
I did, yeah. Correction. The actual food props are really cool. There's some hanging bodies. I think that Eddie from the Woods of Terror purchased that are really neat.
We got two, but we can't show you.
So that booth is really cool. I also really like the Rust booth. I don't know why I like that, but I do. It's different. I mean, I like the mask, the little bunny creepy mask. Those are neat.
Okay. That was also where we got the makeup.
It's where we got the makeup. I also like the fact that we could get our makeup done, which was something new to me here.
Yeah, they didn't offer that at Transworld.
No, they didn't. And they also have these really cool fire things outside that randomly go off to certain beats, but it's been so windy that they've had to cut them off part of the time we've been here.
So in comparison to something like Transworld, how would you compare this?
I think that they're very close. I would think this is a younger show, just based on size alone.
Yeah.
There's not as many animatronics.
Yeah, definitely missing the animatronics here.
They do have interactive games here, which is really cool. They did not have that at Transworld, so that was different. I also like the fact that, that's the same.
It's like a lot of the bigger vendors are not here. I mean, there's still some really big vendors here, but not as many as like Transworld would be.
Correct, and there are some repeat vendors. So we've seen some vendors at both shows. Helped me feel like I had a familiar face to look at. He scared me. I like this booth over here. So they have a bunch of like dead bodies, but it's not actual bodies. It's like skulls mixed with eyeballs and body parts, and it's really random. One thing I did note from between here and Transworld is they both do live airbrushing for characters, and they let the characters walk around the floor to show off their artistic abilities, which is really cool.
Definitely there's not as many people here doing things. It's basically, I think over time this show probably can get something as big as that going on. They just need time, it looks like.
Yeah, I think so too. It's not nearly as loud, which I'm not complaining.
A lot more today than it was yesterday. Yeah. Yesterday was nowhere near this many people here.
No, but Harley Quinn's almost done.
Yeah, we'll show you that in just a little bit.
So at this particular show, they're letting the general public in, which is really cool.
Yeah, so it gives it more like a Comic-Con kind of feel. Like there's actually like people here dressed up and like acting out characters and things.
Like they're not haunt creators and they're not scary people. They're just
haunters.
Haunters, sorry. But they're people who are here just having a good time and they're enjoying themselves and they're feeling like they can enjoy Halloween, you know, in the middle of March. They have a scavenger hunt here. You download this app, you log in and you hit start, and there's 10 booths around this entire place that has this particular sign, and you go to their booth and you have to find the item, or like say for instance you have to guess the owner's name. Like you get one shot. Not hard, right? Like you can guess somebody's name in one shot, I feel. But I thought that was really cool. And you can actually go into their app and create your own scavenger hunt for your own haunt. Which
okay, so that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to sell that.
Yeah, so
I was wondering what that was all about.
But it's a free app.
If you create it yourself, it's free.
If you get
them to create it for you, there is a fee. I didn't hear them say that.
It was like $400 or $500. I don't remember exactly which.
I was eavesdropping and I didn't really know what y'all were talking about, but I remember that now that you said that.
Well, he gave me all sorts of hints and tips on how to cheat at the scavenger hunt, but I won't share that with you. And I'm also not participating, so I don't want anybody to come back and say that, you know, I had tips and tricks and that's how I won money.
Whatever, I'm about to go win now that I know you know all the secrets.
I do know all the secrets, but I don't know where the signs are in the location, but he did give me tips and tricks on how to beat the system, and he told me he'd probably get in trouble for it, so I'm not going to share.
Now we're going to go check out the VIP lunch.
Ooh, what's for lunch?
We're having a taco bar. Thing is, we have been in this line for at least 5 minutes now, and we're not even in the room where we're going to be eating yet.
Not yet.
It's a little bit of a wait. This is taking forever.
It's been like 20 minutes and we're just now in the dark room, which is where the food is held.
Oh, these better be some darn good tacos.
Amazing.
We have figured the hold up. They just self-serve. There really needs to be people serving them to them.
These are very tiny plates.
They are very tiny plates. Like this is
very big tortillas, very tiny plates.
This is like for a cake. It's like a cupcake plate.
This is interesting.
This is what's taking so long is because everybody has cupcake plates.
Yeah.
Everybody's having to fiddle with the cupcake plate. All right. Can't see what I'm doing.
Looks very delicious in this black light. It's like a little toppings area. Well, up here is a very interesting looking under black lights.
Oh, I made it just in time for the last pico.
Last of the pico. We're running out. Running out of cheese.
Yeah.
Ah.
Picking up props for the Woods of Terror, and I'm unsure if they're going to fit in our car with our children and car seats and luggage and a TV and a computer and all the other things we have.
We'll see. Promising so far, not too crazy big.
It's only like half my body size. There's 2 of these.
This one's coming up over the top. It's not too crazy big. We got 2 new mystery items coming back to the Woods of Terror. May I ask, what are you doing?
Being a pendulum.
Being a what?
Pendulum.
What we want to do now is kind of recap our whole weekend and go over like what we liked, what we didn't like, and like how things went, how the vendors were telling us that their sales were going and whatnot. And we're not exactly trying to compare it to Transworld, but we're kind of going to do that because we were literally at Transworld like 1 month ago.
I think the first thing we should talk about was sales. The vendors I talked to all said that they had a great show. They said that there was a vendor there that was from Mad Monster. He's from Fayetteville, North Carolina. He said that this particular show he sold a lot more than he did at Mad Monster. Another vendor that was there almost completely sold their booth out. They had 3 things left.
Almost the first day, funny enough.
The mask sales, I don't know that they were down, but it didn't seem like there was a lot of mask sales.
CFX only had 2 sold stickers out of all their masks that they had there.
But that's not saying that they didn't have people take them at the
maybe.
time of purchase. I did notice that there was a lot of people today carrying out bigger items. So I think that
Yeah, it could have been a buy off at the end, like after we talked to everybody. So there could have been more sales that we don't know about.
yeah, so I think that overall most of the vendors were very successful here. I know they said they had a lot of online orders that were going to have to be filled later because they didn't have all the products with them.
We know we personally bought things that were not, the owner wasn't technically at the show, and we just picked them up, so it was sold off premises, I would say.
Yeah, so I think sales overall were successful. I think if we were to compare the vendors from Transworld to Fear Expo, obviously there wasn't as many vendors.
Nowhere close.
It was probably maybe a fourth of the vendors.
I think there was 18 rows at Transworld, where this had 800 rows.
8 rows.
That's what I meant. Well, but it's labeled in like 1800,
Right,
800 is why I said that.
So I think the amount of vendors that were at Fear Expo was obviously a little lower, but based on the building size, it was probably pretty spot on.
Yeah, it was packed.
I would say, where at Transworld you would have 40 vendors selling just masks. At Fear Expo there was maybe 4.
Yeah.
The selection for you to choose from was completely different.
Wasn't a lot of animatronics at this one either.
There really wasn't. There was one booth that had animatronics, which I was kind of disappointed in. Like, I really enjoyed the dark room in Transworld. I enjoyed the big, huge, like the over-the-top, the stuff that I'm not going to purchase.
Big Pumpkin King, that was amazing.
Right, like I'm not going to purchase this for my house, but it would be great at a haunt. We bought VIP tickets to Fear Expo. Now here's the kicker.
Ooh, price.
The price. Okay, so I don't remember what the ticket price was for Transworld. It was $65 for the VIP for Fear Expo.
I believe it was 90 or 100. I can't remember what we paid in Transworld.
Don't quote us on that, but we know that it was more expensive.
Per person.
That being said, with Transworld, with your all-inclusive pass,
You still had to buy your tickets to the zombie ball.
you had to buy your tickets to your zombie ball. You had to buy the tickets to anything that was the nighttime
Extracurricular.
events. They had a dinner.
At Transworld?
Yeah.
We didn't
But
go to it.
we didn't go to it.
If there was one. I don't know if there was or not.
I think there was. I think I heard rumors that there was. We just didn't go to it. So I don't know if that was included or if that was an extra cost.
Even with it being included at Fear Expo, the problem with that is we talked to another lady at lunch the Saturday, because we didn't go to the dinner on Friday. But she said that she had to run something back to her room, and by the time she got back, the food had ran out, so she didn't get any food.
So that was the dinner. Rewind. That was the dinner Friday night at Fear Expo that she paid for a VIP experience to have the dinner that evening, and they weren't checking VIP passes. They let 50 people in who did not pay for VIP passes, who got free food. That's room for improvement, and they should have been checking passes.
Yes.
Anyway, fast forward. Saturday at lunchtime.
Oh, that took forever to get into. We probably waited in line a good 20 minutes before we got in the area to get our tacos.
So the line was extremely long, which I get it. There was a lot of people. I can look past that. The problem was they put the food in the black room. Okay, so the black
One, you can't see it.
The black light room. So I have no idea what I'm putting on my tacos. So I have 2 shells that are on a cupcake plate, and it's like literally this big, but my tortillas are like this big.
Jalapenos, the ring around the skin on the outside actually glows on our black light. Did not know that.
They do. They turn yellow. So anyway, you couldn't see the meat that you were putting on your taco. You couldn't really see the salsa or the pico de gallo. They ran out of pico de gallo. They ran out of cheese. Which,
they ran out of cheese on tacos.
again, I can look past because we were late to the party getting to the lunch. By like, lunch started at 12. We got served at like
12. Well, yeah, by the time we got served, we got in line at like 12:20.
Right, we got
it was like 12:45 before we started making tacos.
Correct. Okay, so fast forward, there were some things missing. Your drink choices were water or coffee, which coffee and tacos to me just sounds absolutely
No, I'm not drinking
disgusting.
coffee with my tacos.
So that to me was obviously we chose water. Going to eat it, I don't really know what I'm eating because I can't see it. So it's kind of a guessing game, and with my tiny plate, I made this huge mess.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. They ran out of plates. The first dinner on Friday, they ran out of plates completely.
And they ran out of napkins.
Oh, and napkins. And then, so all they had left was like the cupcake plates or like a cookie plate. So we got these tortillas that are like this big that we're trying to put on a plate this big. And we get 2 of them.
There was no way for them to monitor whether I went back 20 minutes later after I got my first 2 tacos for them to realize that I was the same person.
Tacos were big enough that you were filled.
You didn't need more. Now herein lies the problem. So the vendors that I did talk to after we all had tacos, all of us had upset stomachs. So we're unsure if the meat was gray or if the meat was good or if they didn't drain the fat or what happened with the ground beef, but something was awry and amiss with the tacos.
We all had to go to the potty per se.
Yes. So that happened.
The tacos were good though. They tasted good.
The tacos were tasty. I will give them that. The blacklight rooms. The difference between the two. The glow in the dark stuff. At Fear Expo, the difference was they had like their clown house rooms that you could walk through, like their mazes. They had one that reminded me of being at the Woods of Terror.
Laser light.
Where it had like the laser light and it was so smoky, but it wasn't quite Eddie McLaurin level. I could breathe in this one. Sorry.
We might go a little over the top with the
You can't see like for a mile after you leave the woods. They had interactive games with the
those were neat.
the little Orbeez that you could shoot at zombies, which was really cool. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And they got stuck in my hair, like they actually hit and bounced back. And it's like the vendor behind there was like, yeah, I have to pick them up all day. They hit me randomly.
She said she was having to like ward them off with paper and things. With Fear Expo, the things that were included was everything.
Yeah.
If you paid for VIP, you got VIP treatment. You didn't pay for the zombie ball. You didn't pay for the food. You didn't pay to go to any of the classes. You didn't pay for any of the things upstairs.
Yeah, like the concert. Like we saw 500 Miles to Memphis. They played Friday night.
We didn't have to pay for any seminar. We could have went to any one of them for free, included in our price. At Transworld, everything was an upcharge.
I do know on Sunday there was a couple, because I was upstairs like just trying to see who was speaking, what was going on, and in a couple classes the speakers just bailed on them and they canceled. And there was a couple people that were very disappointed, disgruntled basically upstairs that day.
Which show?
The Fear Expo.
Okay, so make
I
sure.
didn't hear anything like that going on at Transworld. Like that's extremely organized.
Well,
I think it's just because the Fear Expo is so young and they're trying to get it together.
I agree. So I think that there is a lot of opportunity for growth.
I also agree with that.
For Fear Expo, I feel like Fear Expo was more community.
Yes, it was more networking, like Boogie the Clown. We were talking with him, he said this place is more like networking and friends and like just talking, hanging out, a lot more fun and playful than where like Transworld is just in your face, loud and go, 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 go.
Well, it's also more, Transworld is more business oriented.
Yes,
so
100%.
it is made for the haunt owners.
And vendors. The vendors and the haunt owners coming together in one place.
My thing is, now, after going to both, and I am not in the haunt industry, so let me just throw that out there.
I just tag her along everywhere.
I just show up. For me, being the outsider in, I had a better time at Fear Expo because it felt more relaxed. I feel like
It's more like a Comic-Con, like they had it open
it
to the general
was.
public.
So
and,
like the people coming in off the street were dressed up, which was neat.
yeah, a
you
lot
know.
of really cool characters came in.
They also, although they did airbrushing at both places, so they airbrushed
Like the
people,
models.
and they showed them off, which was great, and I enjoy that. I love seeing creativity at its best.
Shout out to, what's her name?
Maddie Buss. So Maddie Buss
We
gave
haven't
us,
met her this, like,
she
this
gave
time.
us like the insider info on being airbrushed and the process of how it goes down.
Do you remember the artist? It's Chris something.
It's Michael.
Oh no, that's right, it's Michael.
I don't remember his last name.
We'll have to look that up and tag him in that.
Okay, so
It was really good.
that being said, at Fear Expo, we actually got airbrushed, and it was free.
And that was Slaughterhouse FX that did that for us.
It was.
In closing, what we will say is, if you want to go to Transworld, that's where you're going to go. You're going to have the most options as a haunt owner, or it's a vendor. You're going to have a lot more haunt owners there to actually buy your stuff. So that's this business, where Fear Expo is this, it's still business, but it's got more of a like Comic-Con type feel with a lot of fun and networking with other haunters and getting to meet each other and a lot more slower pace. And like the zombie party was a lot more inclusive with everybody. Like it didn't feel cliquey. It felt like everybody was just intermingling and having fun that night.
I had the best time at the zombie ball,
Bet
but
you
I
did.
had a good time at both zombie balls. Listen,
All the dancing you did.
yeah, my legs hurt. I'm getting too old for that. So I had a good time at both zombie balls, but the difference between the two is one I had to pay for, the other I did not have to pay for. I do remember at the Transworld, it was an all cash bar. At Fear Expo, it was cash and card. You could pay either way. All in all, I think that Fear Expo would be my choice as personally. I enjoyed Transworld. I would 100% want to be invited back. Eddie, please. Thank you. And then
Transworld is a lot of fun.
and then we're flying. And then Fear Expo, I 100% want to be invited back. Also, the location, Owensboro, I eventually will get that correct, was beautiful. The people were very friendly.
They're doing major upgrades to that town.
I think that Fear Expo has a lot of room to grow, but I think that it is something that Transworld should definitely consider adopting some of Fear Expo's practices.